Hey, hello everyone. Hope you are good and enjoying the coding. In this session, we will learn about the for loop. In last session, we learned about the while loop. Basically, while loop is used to repeatedly execute a set of statement as long as the condition is true. But for loop is execute when we know a number of iteration. In while loop, we know we are executing repeatedly till the condition is true. But this is not the case in for loop. For loop is used for iterating over a sequence that is either a list, tuple, dictionary, set or string. Okay, this is a high level of definition. So let's understand some difference between the while loop and for loop. So both are entry controlled loop. Entry controlled loop, it means at initial we will check the condition. If the condition is true, then we are executing the operation. For loop used when we know the number of iteration in advance. Let's assume you want to execute any loop for a 3 times. Then we will use a loop. While loop is used when we are not aware about the iterations. It means let's take one example of the game. I want to implement one game and in the name of that game is guessing a number. So we don't know how many iterations will be required for guessing that number. So this program will be implemented with the help of while loop. And if you want to stop the execution of this game when it reaches to 3 or 4 iterations, then we can use a for loop. Okay, it means for loop is used when we know the number of iteration in advance, and while loop when we are not sure about the iterations. For loop based on iterable object, while loop based on a conditions. Both loop supports for else statement. As you know, once the condition is execution of all the condition is satisfied and now the condition is false or the iteration of for loop is completed, then else block will be executed. So this else will be support in both while loop as well as for loop. The syntax of for is for item in iterable. So here in keyword is used over the either list, tuple, set or dictionary. Then this object will send one item in this local object, that is item. Okay, and then it will execute these statements for each items. Okay, this is a iterable items. I hope this syntax is clear. If it is not clear, then let's understand this with the help of code. Okay, so here I am declaring one list having a some fruits. Okay, in this fruit list I am adding 3 fruits. Okay, and I am iterating all these fruits one by one. So here, as you know, we have seen that for loop is used when we know the number of iterations. So here I want to iterate this list. For loop always used when we have a iterable object. So this is a iterable object because this is having some items and these items are iterable. So apple, banana, cherry, these are the 3 items. So I want to iterate these items. Then how I will iterate this? Then the syntax is for, then this is a local name, local variable name, that is a fruit. I can use this any name and then in keyword and then iterable object, that is a fruit list. Okay, let's print this fruit. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. This is a iterable object having some items and this is a syntax of for loop, that is for fruit in fruits list, and I am printing a single fruit. Okay, so here you can see apple, banana, cherry. So for loop will executed only 3 times because this iterable object fruit list having only 3 items. Okay, so in this way we can use a for loop. So this iterable object can be a list, set, tuple, string or dictionary. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. Okay, so if you want to understand the else statement, let's print this. For loop is completed. For loop is completed. Once this section is completed, then else block will be executed. I hope this is clear to you. So let's understand the for loop with range. Sometimes, so let's assume I don't have this iterable list. Still I want to execute a loop. Then how I will execute this loop? Let me create another list. Instead of this fruit list, I am removing this. I am creating a number list. Okay, number list having a 10 elements. Okay, 0 to 9, and I am printing this number. This is a very simple program, as you know. Okay, so let me print this 10 number 0 to 9. Okay, so these are the 10 numbers. So sometimes we want to print a 10 numbers, then either we can store this number into the list or we can use one function to print a sequence. So here we have a 0 to 9, that is a 10 number. Okay, then instead of creating this number list, what I will use a range function. So a range function provide a particular sequence. It will start from one number and stop to the another number, and it's incremented by default to 1, but if we have to increment by another value, then we can pass that. So if I write here range of 10, let me remove this. Okay, range of 10, so it will print same numbers 0 to 9. Let's see this once again, 0 to 9, because range function will provide a list. Okay, it will return a list. That list always start, default value will be a 0. Here default value will be 0. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. Sometimes we need to start a number from 1. Okay, then it will print 1 to 9, because in range we have provided a 10 is a stop value. Okay, so it will start from 1, and for 10 it will stop. It will print 1 to 9. If you have to include 10 into the list, then just pass 11. In this way we can use a range function. Okay, if we want to increment it by 2 instead of 1, then we can pass that is a third value. Third value will be a step, either increment or decrement, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. If you want to print the value from 10 to 1 in reverse order, then you can use start will be the 10, end will be 0, and decremented by 1. Let's print this 10 to 1. In this way we can use a range function. Let's understand its syntax. Range, start, stop, and step. Start, default value will be 0, stop will any value, and step, the default value will be a 1. Okay, in this way we can use a range function. So its syntax is range, start, stop, and step. Range reversing using reverse function and using a shorthand operators. Okay, so we can use a shorthand operator to print either reverse or infinite number of values. Okay, so I am avoiding this. We will see this in a next example. Okay, then for loop with the data types. For loop can be used on string for accessing each character with or without index. So let me declare one string here, that is name. So here I have declared one string and its value is hello. If we want to iterate each character, okay, then we can use this for loop to access each character like this, for char in name and print char. Let's print this. Here you can see hello. In this way we can use a for loop on a string. If you want to access this hello string with the help of index, then still you can use this like range length of name, okay, and here name of index. This will be the index. Let's run this. Okay, so in this way we can access the name with the help of index. This will be the first value will be the range function will return a result from 0 to the length of actual length of that name. So then for 0 we have a hello 1e, 2l, 3l and 4th o. In this way we can access a string. For loop can be used to access each key and value of a dictionary. If we declare a dictionary and if we have to use a for loop on the dictionary, still we can use a for loop. For loop can be used to access each element of list with or without index. Okay, as I have shown here previously, we can declare a list and with the help of length of list we can access that with the help of index. Okay, so yeah, like a while loop we can use a nested for loop also. Okay, so if you want to understand nested for loop, let me create one example here. I in a range of 1 to 10. Okay, so this will print each row 1 to 10 for j in range of 1 to 10. So what I will do, I will use 1 to 11. Okay, then print, okay, I into j, okay, for each line, and then I am just using a space here. Okay, so let me run this. Yeah, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, then it should be a new line. Okay, so then what we will do, we will use a print statement here only. Let's print this. Okay, yeah, you can see here by using a two loops I have created a table 1 to 10 1 to 10. Okay, yeah, I hope this is clear to you. In this way we can use a loop inside a loop. Okay, yeah, if still anybody has any doubt, then comment me, I will provide more details. Okay, yeah, if you want to use a control statements, okay, which we have used in while loop like break, continue and pass, then still we can use that statements. Okay, yeah, thank you, see you in next session.